Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Language Cafe. We are the official Williams School of Languages podcast, where we sit down with the incredible people behind our classrooms to share stories, celebrate languages, and hopefully inspire you to start a learning journey of your own. I'm your host, Cam. I am the Filipino, Tagalog, and ESL instructor here at Williams School of Languages. We are a private language school located in Las Vegas, Nevada. And today I'm so excited because we're joined by one of our wonderful instructors, Tammy Samen. Hello, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Tammy teaches both ESL Level 1 and Spanish Level 1 here at Williams School of Languages. And she's been helping students build confidence through language learning for nearly 2 decades. Today, we're talking about why learning a language is about so much more than grammar and vocabulary. It's about connection, confidence, and opening doors you never imagined. But before we jump in, we actually have a little tradition around here. And we don't have a name for this quite yet, but I think I kind of have something in mind. I'm going to call it Sip and Share segment. So every guest gets to enjoy their favorite drink while we chat. And Tammy let us know that she's a tea person. So today I picked up a silver jasmine tea. It is from our neighbors at Seven Leaves Cafe, which they're right off Spring Mountain Valley or Spring Mountain. And I asked them for recommendations because I normally always get just like bubble, like milk tea with boba at that spot. But today I need to run on caffeine. So I got myself a Spanish latte, but I got Tammy, she gave me the freedom to pick and choose what she wants to drink. But tell me about your favorite drink and how do you like your silver jasmine tea?
So I like tea. Sometimes I'll like dessert, something sweet with it, something.
Oh, you should have told me that. Then I could pick up some snackies too.
Next time.
Yeah.
Maybe just be another time.
Yeah. What's your favorite tea, like ever?
I like green tea.
Green tea, okay.
And I
like hot green tea.
Yeah, mostly hot tea, and I also like tea with cardamom. It's like Persian tea. It's really good. So I've become accustomed.
Nice. So okay. Yeah. So I want to give our friends at Seven Leaves Cafe a shout out. And I think my barista earlier, the girl that took my order, her name's Zoe. She's very nice. I came in because I kind of already in the back of my head yesterday, I know what I'm going to get for today's show. I'm going to go to Seven Leaves. And I wanted to try their Spanish latte for the longest time. And I know like Spanish latte is just milk. I know it's condensed milk and espresso and yeah. But yeah, now we have our drinks already. So let's get into it.
All right.
Yes, awesome. Okay, so this is basically like the meat of our podcast, our show. But yeah, let's start off. Actually, before I haven't even taken a sip of my drink.
All right.
Do you drink coffee at all though?
Not really.
Not really?
That's
You don't like it at all?
I tasted it a while ago, but I never really.
Never really my thing. In general.
Yeah.
Maybe you just never had the right coffee.
That's true. That is.
I think you like. Well, you mentioned you like green tea, so that like kind of herbal taste to it, right? But I think like coffee's like beans, like beanie type, like nutty. I don't know if you like nuts at all, but that's how I would describe it.
Some things I like nuts, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. All right. Well, this one's really good. This is my very first time trying the Spanish latte.
Try that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So this is really good, and I would recommend it. I've had Seven Leaves Vietnamese coffee, so if anybody really just likes Vietnamese coffee, something strong but sweet, Seven Leaves is also really good for that. Yeah.
Well, in the wintertime, I like hot chocolate. So not really a coffee, but it's.
I have something for you then. Do you like the Mexican hot chocolate?
I haven't had that. I'll have to.
The Abuelita one?
I haven't. I'll have to dive that.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put that in my notes somewhere so that when we get together around winter time, we're gonna share something like that.
Absolutely.
All right. So. Okay, so Tammy, you've been teaching for almost 20 years. You've worked with children and adults. and now you've somehow managed or made Las Vegas your home. So looking back, what first made you fall in love with teaching, I guess? Because you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. So a lot of my family, on both sides of my family, were in education.
Okay.
And so I guess you always get that exposure that into that education arena when you have family members,
Yeah.
teachers, various types of educators.
Yeah.
So you kind of learn the ropes.
Okay.
And so my mom was a Spanish teacher, and the other members of my family were various positions
Okay.
along the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I wanted to do something with languages.
Mhm.
So it was a good combination.
Okay.
And ESL just kind of combined with all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, here I am.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned your mom is a Spanish teacher. So have you guys, like, growing up, were just talking in Spanish around the house?
Started, I officially started learning Spanish when I was in high school.
Okay.
But before then, I learned some of the basics,
Mhm.
letter numbers, the intro stuff.
Yeah.
And then so I kind of had a background foundation. And then officially I started in high school. And
Okay.
so I continued throughout those 4 years. And then I decided to make that a long life career.
Yeah.
So so I took Spanish in college.
Mhm.
And here I am.
Oh, nice. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then before we jump into asking questions about your teaching, I want to know, who is Tammy outside the classroom?
Well, I mean, I like to hang out with my friends, to travel, and I like to be with family. So, having moved here to Las Vegas gave me a chance to see family more because I was living in Alabama, so it was bi-coastal, so it's a lot easier now
Yeah.
to see at least in the immediate family.
Yeah.
So,
Is your family, like, originally all of them from Las Vegas?
no, actually, a lot of them were from New York.
Okay.
And then
How'd you guys get on the side of the
yeah, so gradual move actually. So yeah, I was born in on Long Island, and then gradual moved to Fort Lauderdale, and so then to Birmingham, Alabama.
Mhm.
So and then for a while, my family was like, "Why don't you come to Las Vegas?" And
Yeah.
I was like, "I don't know," and kind of circumstances presented themselves,
Yeah.
opportunities presented themselves, so it worked out. So I
Yeah.
was able to have that opportunity to move here. So
Aw.
it's better to not having to always get on a plane to
Mhm.
see family. Although I have other family
Yeah.
elsewhere, but at least I have some close family
Yeah.
here, so I can just be with them close by. So,
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well,
yeah.
because of that, now you're here and we're having this conversation.
I know, right? It's meant to be.
Yeah, this is awesome. Yeah, I love having you here. Okay, so what is something your students might be surprised to learn from you?
Well, I mean, I'm into languages
Mm.
with Spanish and ESL, but maybe the languages that I might want to learn.
Mhm.
So I know a little bit of Hebrew. I'd like to continue that.
Okay.
But also, I've started a little bit of Farsi
Oh, nice.
beginning
Yeah.
stages. Beginning, so yeah, that, as far as the choice of languages, maybe that might be
Surprising.
like surprising.
Doesn't
But
look like you're gonna
yeah,
learn, like,
exactly.
Hebrew and
Cannot
stuff.
be
Yeah.
what you would have thought. But
Yeah. Yeah.
so
How is Farsi, like, different from? Because I think that's kinda, like, closest to Arabic, or is that the same?
yeah, so it's not like English or Spanish
Mhm.
where there's like those like
Yeah.
actual Latin letter
Mhm.
like letters, but it's kind of like there's pictorial.
Okay.
It's
Symbols.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Oh.
so it's not like you don't see like A, B, C, right?
Mhm.
So when you're reading it, which I haven't gotten to that point
Yeah.
yet, hopefully eventually I'll get to that
Yeah.
point. slowly process.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's I would say that's the main difference between the
The
2.
two. Okay.
Yeah, so that's it's not as hard as I thought it was gonna be,
Uh-huh.
but it's just, kind of listening for keywords and I'm trying to hear it all the time.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. Well, let's see. If your friends described you in 3 words, I know like earlier today while I was setting up, I heard you you called a friend for this.
'Cause I
Yeah. What would they say? What would they say about you in 3 words?
I would say, like, as far as my personality, I'm sweet
Yeah.
and hardworking,
Mhm.
so, like, when I get to something and I wanna do something, I make sure that it's done correctly and dedicated,
Yeah.
that I wanted to make sure that I go to the end, and not just stop in the middle,
Yeah.
so
Nice. Very
say those are
hardworking.
the 3 main ones that they were able to think
Think
about.
about it. I love that. You have some really great friends then. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier that you're from a family of educators?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so and then I also know from, like, the questionnaire, that, I ask you. So, like, you've been teaching since 2007? Yeah, so what has changed the most, you think, about teaching over the years?
I think over time, just the what we use to teach, because I think it's as far as like technology, a lot more is being used over. That's what's become the big thing over. I would say the last like 10 years, something like that, because there's a lot of like Chromebooks and technology and smart boards and everything's digital and so it's kind of like making sure that they know not only technology but they also know it from before as well. So
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm like, I haven't been teaching that long, but I can like as somebody who's like learning too, I feel like we've had like over the years, we've been given like a lot of like equipment to work with.
yeah, yeah,
And so like even learning styles change over the years too, and not just teaching. And I can only imagine like how I guess, like, difficult that might be, especially if you're doing something for such a long time, you need to adapt.
yeah. Also, like it's always good to bring in that what we call old school stuff
Yeah.
too, because
Yeah. Oh,
it's
yeah.
good stuff there too.
Yeah. Because yeah, I feel like with most technology too, like, you could introduce, like, all these new things, but I think I had this conversation last episode with, Mr. Drysdale, Mr. David, talking about yeah, like or I don't know, I forgot. Maybe it was yesterday for my class, because I was talking to them, all my students are very excited about, like AI and all that stuff. And I was like, it's gonna make my life easier. But to me, as both a learner and a teacher, I honestly feel like AI is getting in my way of learning because it's giving me so much information, but at the same time, like I can't trust it. And then at the same time, I'm like, I always find myself reverting back to the old school way of learning, which is like, let me pick up a book or two that's like proven and tested. But also at the same time, I feel like as an educator, you want to, kind of like mix it a little bit, mix it up a little bit. Like, yeah, this works, but since we have, like, all this new stuff going on, like, how can we make those 2, like, work together? You
Exactly.
have to be, like, really, really creative, yeah.
I know to piggyback off what you were saying with AI, I think for me, I would want to do that myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah, no, that's the thing too, because like, in this day and age, it's gosh, I feel like there's always, like, 2 sides to it. It's either you hate AI or you fully really love it, but I think I'm kind of, like, in the honestly, not even in the middle. I'm kinda, like, leaning more towards, like, not using it. I feel like it's really just, a great tool, and that's also kind of why I wanted to start this podcast is because, like, in the world of AI, like, people just start talking to it as opposed to, like, having this face-to-face
Right. Exactly.
conversation
Exactly.
and, like, trying to figure it out on their own. Whereas I really think that, the best way to, like, really learn something
Yeah.
the connection, exactly. Yeah, and so that's yeah, that is really what pushed me to
Right.
create all of this. Cause like we need to start building that connection. We need to start like giving back or, like, yeah, especially with like language learning, like we have all the apps, like all the
Yeah.
apps are out there. Like, you know, what, if somebody I know, like with me, the first thing, because I'm also like a business major, like that's my forte. That's what I came to, like, I went to school for business and marketing. And so like the first thing I would think of is like, oh, how do you market like a language school? Like,
Right.
to me, like as a consumer, I'm like, I can literally just download an app and like do that. I can learn language by myself. But no, the thing about like being able to talk to students too is like, I love hearing their stories. Like I love talking to my students, like, what makes you like want to come here? And it's like, it's because the app is not enough. Like whatever it is that they're getting like on the internet and stuff, they say, no, it's
Yeah,
not enough.
there's only so much that you can get from that,
Yeah.
and you need more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just that in-person interaction.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that. But, I guess, like, my next question for you would be, like, what made Williams School of Languages feel like the right place? Like, how did you start here, I guess?
So I felt like after being here, I it's very like close knit,
Yeah.
and there's like one-on-one, and it's very like catering to students' needs.
Yeah.
And so, especially like with private lessons, you can really know what they want and hear from them, and then kind of tweak your lessons from based on that. Or even like the like ESL level one class, depending upon their level and like how what they can do, you can easily tweak things. So I feel like it's like the small class sizes are good because they can get more out of it.
Yeah.
And they can feel like they can ask questions, and not that they wouldn't be able to otherwise, but I feel like that's just like that small close interaction is sometimes it's better.
Yeah, and I feel like okay, when you were talking about that, it just kinda, like, came to my mind. I think I forgot to ask this to my last 2 guests, like Miss Shin and Mr. David, but I feel like I wanna ask you because I know we're gonna have our all-staff meeting later. And we're gonna have some new teachers, we're really excited about that.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny because like, how I guess, like, the teachers were put in the school is just I mean, to me, I've shared this story before. I feel like I share it every time I have a guest here. But the way I became a teacher here is because I was Daniel's friend first. Not even like friend. We just met last year, and we just kind of like started hanging out with because he was looking for a like a play date for his son who speaks
Nice.
Tagalog. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so I hung out with him and his wife the very first time with my kids and all that stuff, and I think after a couple, like, getting together, like, hanging out, I hung out with Andrea more, that's, Daniel's wife. I hung out with her more, like, we would go out, and then, I think I forgot, but yeah, it was only, like, a couple, like, play dates, and then Daniel called me because he would always comment on, like or I would comment, like, their Tagalog at home. They're like, "Oh, can you just speak Tagalog to my son? Because we're really teaching him." And I'm like, "Yeah, of course I can do that." And so I would always correct them. And yeah, and then he called me like out of nowhere, like in the middle of the night. I can hear him. It's like so vivid. Like the memory I was in the kitchen, he called me. I can hear he's getting into his car. And he was like, he closed the door. I had an epiphany. And he's like, do you want to teach Tagalog? Like, and then to me, like in my brain, like, I know he's doing some sort of like language, whatever. And then, but I guess I never really stalked him at that time. But so I didn't know what he's really doing. I was like, yeah, sure. How hard can it be? Like, I speak the language. That'll be easy, right?" But that's kind of like how we got together, and that's how all of this started. Yeah, he's just none of the interviews for Filipino teacher was working out. So I guess I'm like curious, like how you got here, and I know like, and this is gonna be for another episode with our other teachers, like how they came to be part of the school. So I'm curious to know like how did you end up here at Williams? Because I know you're like one of the pioneer teachers that we
Yeah.
have.
So when I first started, there wasn't very many languages here as there are now, or staff for for that matter. I think there was Derek was here and Tar was here, and they were doing Chinese, and there was ESL level 1, and the classes were even smaller than they are now. So, which the sizes now are great. And then a lot of their families knew less English than they did, and so I was like, I want to do something with adults, basically.
Nice.
So,
Okay. I guess to piggyback or to follow up, like a
okay.
follow-up question, you mentioned that you wanted to come here because you wanted to teach adults to kind of like get a what? To get away from children. Not really.
It wasn't really to get away from
Yeah.
that, but I feel like the parents and families needed that as well.
Yeah.
And so,
Okay.
yeah, I still miss the children
Yeah.
parts, but I feel like this kind of
Mhm.
helps me to grow,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay.
So,
Well, so since you mentioned that, you've taught both, right?
yeah.
You've taught children and adults. What differences have you noticed with teaching like those two demographics, I guess?
I would say most of students, like in the K-12, they want to be there, but there are some, they're really their motivation was different.
Yeah.
The adults, I feel like they have their motivation is the opposite.
Yeah.
They need it for a job. They need it
Yeah.
for survival. They
Right.
need it for their family. Like if they first come to this country, for example, they need it for their everyday, like to
Mhm.
communicate. So they're not like getting other people to translate for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So they should use the language in their everyday life. So yeah, that urgency and that priority.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think I noticed that too. Like, I really do enjoy teaching adults because you're coming into a classroom where these people actually want to learn what you're trying to
Yeah,
say,
they
as
want to
opposed
be
to like, yeah,
there.
as opposed to kids who are mostly like
You know,
forced. Yeah.
frankly,
Mhm.
they're paying to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But putting that aside, they want to be there. They have that want or that desire
Yeah.
differently from younger people.
Yeah. And what do you think if I ask you this question, is learning a language really harder as an adult?
Not necessarily. It's how you think of it. It's how you start.
Yeah.
It's what your expectations are. If you think it's going to be, oh my gosh, it's so hard, you're going to have that mindset the whole time,
Yeah.
and you're not going to have that openness to say, okay, well, maybe it might take me a long time, but it's worth it.
Hmm. And then in your opinion, do you have like, or I guess like, what is one misconception people have about language learning?
That it sometimes people think, "Oh, I have to get fluent right away,"
Yeah.
or it's gonna be so easy, and
Yeah.
I'll be learning it, day 1, I'll learn, the words and for everything I need
Yeah.
in, like, the first
Hmm.
couple of weeks, but that very well may be, but it takes time. It's very much a process,
Yeah.
and you gotta be patient about it.
Yeah.
And gotta really you learn the vocabulary and the expressions and things, and that's great. But you gotta at least take time outside of
Yeah.
class.
Yeah. I got to put in the work for it
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
Hmm. Yeah, because like, reflecting back, I'm like,
Yeah.
English is not my first language for sure. I kind of like have to learn it by myself, like growing up. But I guess that's also something that I wouldn't say like I took it for granted because I didn't take it for granted, but I never realized that me, myself, like exposing myself to like all forms of media to get to the fluency level that I really wanted. I didn't know that those were like steps on like
Yeah.
how to be fluent. It's like the
Exactly.
speaking it every day, like consuming, like having all that input and then having an output. And I didn't have anybody to talk English at home, like back in the Philippines. I never had that. I had to seek that out. And what year was that? Like 2012, 2013. I, somebody in the Philippines, like I don't really have anyone to talk to. And So what I did was like I went into like these chat rooms like on Yahoo Messenger. I remember that. And my
Right.
mom never knew I was going to. I'm sorry, mom. But yeah, I was like I was on all of those like voice chats, voice channels, and it's like, oh gosh, all the creeps are in there too. Oh, it's like so crazy.
Interesting people.
Yes, no, but I don't know because I know like AOL. Is it AOL that's like really popular here in the U.S. at that time?
At that time, yeah,
Yeah.
way back in the day,
Did you
yeah.
guys ever have like Yahoo Messenger?
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I honestly have no idea like where in the world these people are. But in the Philippines, Yahoo Messenger was like a big thing, and then there's like different like
It was
groups.
more like that AOL Messenger.
Yeah, kind of like AOL Messenger. So it's like Yahoo Messenger,
Yeah.
but there's like, before you get into like a chat room, it's almost kind of like a Reddit, like subreddit now. Like
Yeah.
you get to like all these like topics or whatever, you go into a room and um you just do that and you talk about whatever that topic is. And at the time, I was really obsessed with like School of Rock. So I'm like, I go to under music and then rock. Like, like there's like all those subtopics, and then you go to a room and all you do is like talk rock music, like metal, punk, whatever. I have no idea what I was doing. I was like 12, 13 at that time. But see, I didn't know that me going into those rooms and like having conversation, talking in English, like gosh, my grammar was probably like really bad at that time, but I was seeking it. And because of that, I'm also like learning like the patterns of how these people talk. And yeah, and I think that's so one thing that maybe AI can help now, but they can talk to you and you can practice like speaking to them, but that nothing beats like a Jet2 holiday. I'm just kidding. Nothing beats like the interaction from
And that respond
yeah,
back from like
from
a real
somebody.
person,
Yeah. And that's the thing too. What's funny is like, in the Filipino culture, we have this thing where people kind of like make fun of you if you say things like incorrectly. They say, "Oh, wrong grammar ka." Like, "Oh, you're speaking like your English is not that good because you're not supposed to say affect versus effect or whatever." Like all those little things. But yeah, they kind of like make fun of you for that. And I guess like growing up, I was scared that people would make fun of me because of it. But what's funny is that whenever I get into like those chat rooms, I'm actually talking to like English speaking people. They don't care about like my grammar. Like they just want to talk. They just want to like, communicate with a person.
Right.
But, I always tell people that you can correct me, like if I'm wrong. Or how would you say that? Like people sometimes I don't even have to tell them, they'll just correct me. Oh, you say I instead of me or something like that. And I
Yeah,
always
exactly.
appreciate that.
Yeah, just to kind of continue with
Yeah.
that, to your question was, it's okay to make a mistake.
Yeah.
I would tell them
Encouraged.
that's how you learn.
Yeah.
So you don't always have that expectation that you have to get it right the first time.
Yeah.
I mean, you can,
Yeah.
but it's okay if you don't.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can get it right the first time, right? Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
might be
exactly.
super genius,
So,
might need to get checked.
right. That's why it's a process and it doesn't happen
Mhm.
just all at once.
Yeah, and I guess like to follow up on that one, what do you
Okay.
think? What does success look like in terms of like learning another language for you?
Putting in the work,
Yeah.
it's okay making those mistakes and learning from them and, building upon that
Mhm.
and having those interactions with people and that speak English or the other language the target language that you're learning. And that just helps you get better and not necessarily always fluent,
Yeah.
but being able to have those conversations that you want to have.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think is like the biggest obstacle students face, right? Like nowadays, do you think it's fear, it's confidence, is it time, or a little bit of everything?
I think maybe a combination of all three,
Yeah.
really. The fear of, it being hard. And that's why it's okay for it to be hard. That's the whole purpose,
Yeah.
you're learning
Point.
something new. The confidence, that happens over time.
Mhm.
So, the more you learn, the more you learn from the
Yeah.
mistakes and the more you put it all together,
Yeah.
that's how you get the confidence and you more like practice with other people and practice and study with other outside of class.
Yeah.
You know, and build on what you do know and what you're learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and time is kind of making time, and
Yeah.
not only in class, but outside of class too.
Yeah, for
Because if you
sure.
don't use it, you lose it. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're getting it in class, but you gotta
Mm,
practice it after and then come back for some more, you know?
yeah. And I think like to I guess like comment on that, like your answer to I have something to say about that. But I guess like before I get into it, because this is kind of like related to my next question.
Okay.
Yeah. What advice would you give someone who says, I'm too old to learn?
They're not. It's never too late because, it's takes work regardless of how old you are.
Mm,
And, you have the different motivations for doing something, and whatever your motivation is, you're gonna put in the time.
yeah.
And so, yeah, do it and challenge yourself, and, you get whatever out of it what you put in.
Yeah.
So,
So I guess like and again, this is like relating it to the last question that I asked, like what's the biggest obstacle that student face? Is it like fear, confidence, time? I think like when people say that I'm too old to learn, I think they're just saying that because I'm too old, I have other things to do that's more important
right,
than learning another language.
or they're not gonna have
Yeah.
time to juggle all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
so if
exactly.
you're really wanting to learn a language, you really got to set time and effort into actually learning it. And that's why like here in, Williams School of Languages, we're really big on like community, like talking, like really um it's almost kind of like we're not a school. We're a school, but we're like super school where it's like super academic, but we're really focused
Yeah.
on you like learning what or like putting into work like what you learned in our classrooms. And I guess that's why we have initiatives like the free Saturday classes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To give the opportunities
Mhm.
to use the language
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
And
Can you tell us about that, by the way?
so Saturdays, David and I, we were sharing the class,
Mhm.
but Saturdays we have a conversation class for those students who are learning English.
Yeah.
No matter if they're English level 1 or 2 or whatever level you are.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be in those classes necessarily, but it might
Yeah.
give you a desire to take the either level
Uh-huh.
at our school. But so you concentrate on, we focus on, using the language, speaking, and in various ways, through games and
Yeah.
prompts and through, sentence starters like I spy, and then moving around the room and I see, and the rest of us have to guess it, it's getting us speaking, having those conversations
Mhm.
with others, and not just you yourself, and
Yeah.
just with pairs and groups.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're listening to this episode, and you live in Las Vegas and you're curious or you know somebody who might probably or maybe beneficial for them to attend like we offer free classes every Saturday. Basically, it's a conversational class. So it is just kind of like different from our regular classes that happens 3 times a week, right?
Yeah,
3 times.
so we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday,
Mhm.
a level 1 class,
For
or
English, yeah.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday for level 2, same
Mhm.
time, same place as the saying goes. Either way. But yeah, so on Saturdays is mainly speaking, but
Yeah.
sometimes, a lot of times we try to start the class
Yeah.
with a little snippet of like vocabulary or a
Yeah.
little snippet of grammar, just to get like maybe a glimpse of what it would look like if
Mhm.
they did take the level 1 class with us or a level 2 class.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, we mainly focus on the speaking part and
Yeah.
conversation, but yeah, we try
Yeah.
to give a little PR on
Yeah.
on other areas too.
Yeah, I know like a lot of people here are also really interested because I know that there's a demand for it. If our public libraries are offering like free conversational classes, we figured let's do that too. We're a language school after all.
Yeah.
And for some people that's really all they need is like that practice, right? Is sometimes maybe like we have people who come here in the US and from their country and all they really have like they don't really have friends who speak English. Like maybe they have friends here, but like they speak their home language. Not saying like you have to unlearn all that just learn English, but if you want to get by and just like practice that confidence every Saturday, it's really the place to be. It will help you with that.
And even the level 1 and level 2 classes, they're very just have a theme. Like
Yeah.
it's a topic. Like sometimes, like this coming week for next week, we're gonna do in the level 1 class, we're gonna do like food and drinks,
Oh, nice.
like a restaurant. So we're gonna do like vocabulary and ordering from a menu, and so getting all of that, how to do that, and then role plays and things like that. So it's using the language in context.
Yeah.
So
That is awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And hopefully, we're in the process of moving right now. But yeah, I would love to join in because everybody's welcome. As we mentioned, the Saturday classes are free, so you're more than welcome to come. If you just want to volunteer and help, if you're an English speaker, come in. We would love to have more people speaking and like, help our students as well to build that confidence, like to overcome that fear of speaking another language. Yeah, we would love to have you there. And again, you're more than welcome to bring a friend who you think can benefit from our free classes every Saturday. And yeah, I guess I have just a few more questions for you. We're gonna move on to like our segment in a little bit where I ask you questions like super fast and you just gotta pick like one or the other.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So I have like a couple more questions and this is more just like really out of my own curiosity.
Okay.
Have I guess like I'm curious to know, have your students ever taught you something? And if so, what is that?
That you can learn from your students.
Yeah.
That it's you are as a teacher, you are a lifelong learner, and you learn from them. You kind of learn how to adjust your lesson or how your teaching style.
Mm.
Just learn from them in general. Just get to know them, build those relationships, and so yeah, you learn kind of in general. You learn with them, about them.
Yes.
They learn from you, you learn from them, type of thing. So
Yeah, I think that's one thing, like, I guess a lot of people who are not teachers don't realize is that, and I joked about this several times with other educators, like, what's that? Like, I'm actually learning more from you guys than you're learning from me.
Exactly.
I think that's really one of the best parts.
Yeah, like I guess as educators or teachers, if when we're like lifelong learners,
Yeah.
we'll say we'll be a student for the rest of our life. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's true because we're always learning, not only for us as educators, but we're learning from our students also. So.
Yeah. And, to kind of like, before we proceed to our next segment, just something lighthearted. Do you have a funniest like classroom moment you've ever experienced? Maybe from our language school or from your other,
So not necessarily with me particularly, but so when I was in college, I was in my Spanish conversation class, and so this was in Alabama. And so one of the students in my class, talking about speaking and accents and whatnot, they spoke very Southern, shall we say. And so, pronouncing things were not exactly their strong points.
Yeah.
So, like in Spanish, to say like I work, it's trabajo, right? But they would say trabajo, right? So the teacher was like, oh, it's not trabajo, like Navajo. So learning how to pronounce things where that emphasis goes. So it's still kind of an inside joke
Yeah.
that you remember.
Yeah.
So,
pronunciation is
yeah.
something. It's always like I feel like most of like the funniest things that ever happened in the classroom for me too, like growing up, has something to do with people mispronouncing things. And I mean, it is kind of just like a lighthearted, again, like things like
Exactly.
that.
And it's
But
not really making fun, it's just
yeah,
kind of sticks with you
yeah,
after a while. So,
yeah. So we're gonna do our quick fire round.
okay.
Okay. I wish I could have, I don't know if I could do like a timer or whatever. We need something visual here for next time. But yeah, I'm going to just give you like two choices or like questions, and I need you to answer them in less than like 20 seconds or
I
10,
can try.
honestly. Okay. Ready? Okay. We're going to go through that and then mark. Okay. Let's do it. Okay. Morning or night?
Morning.
Books or podcasts?
Both.
No, just one.
I would say books because you could either read them in an actual book or listen to them as well. So also, but podcasts, I depends on the topic.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Spanish or ESL?
Ooh, I would say Spanish. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I started that one first.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite word in Spanish?
I would say besides trabajo or trabajo, so I would say
Okay.
just the way it's pronounced, the way my teacher at the time pronounced it, nunca jamás. It was like never ever, just that emphasis like that, the way it's pronounced. So it's kind of like funny how
Okay. Wait, what is it?
nunca jamás.
Nunca jamás.
Like that using, making sure that that's emphasis and that throaty
Yeah.
part.
All right.
is used.
I'll get back to that later. I have questions about it. Okay. What's your favorite English expression?
Time will tell because, language is a process and it takes time.
I love
So,
that. Yeah. One country you'd love to visit?
I never been to Israel, so I'd like to visit Israel.
Okay. What's one language you'd love to learn?
A little bit more Hebrew, yes.
Hebrew?
Hebrew, yeah.
And your favorite comfort food?
Types of desserts like cookies or ice cream, things like that. That's kind of like
Your comfort
a
food?
craving type of, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up that segment. I'm going to go back to your favorite word in Spanish. What does that mean?
Never ever. Like, nunca is
Nunca.
never, right? Jamás is like never, never ever. Like, if you do something and you're never ever, like you're emphasizing the ever.
What, like, what, can you give me like an example where you'd use it?
Yeah. So if you took some sort of medicine and it messed up, and he was like, never ever will I ever jamás. So never ever.
Oh, okay.
Emphasizing the ever.
I see.
So, yeah, I just remember how the teacher that I had, how they pronounced
Jamás.
jamás.
How do you spell the last word?
Jamas, because the J,
Yeah, it's H.
yeah, the pronunciation like Spanish, Spain, nunca
Jamás.
jamás.
Nunca jamás.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Okay.
Kind of sticks with you.
Yeah. I'm gonna take note of that. I'm gonna make a mental note of that so I could like use it. Right now I'm learning, I'm trying to like, I always say this, I'm trying to learn Spanish, but I'm actually taking different steps this time. So kind of like how I learned English, growing up, is I just consumed a lot of Western media. So like everything in English without subtitles, without anything. So I'm just literally like watching and consuming, like trying to figure out like what's going on. And I also noticed like about myself is that if I really enjoyed something, I would watch it again and again.
Yes.
So I'm doing that with Money Heist right now. And actually, you know what? I watched the first episode with no subtitles. I'm like, I'm kind of understanding what they're trying to say, and then because guys, right now, I'm telling you right now, Duolingo is not enough. If anything,
it's really not.
make it like supplemental. Do it something that's like fun.
On the surface.
Yeah.
It's good, but you need a lot more.
Yeah. No, I honestly just really like it because I have like 5 friends. Honestly, more than 5 friends. I have 5 friends in there that we have streaks. Okay. I love that we do that, like to gamify it. And I think to me, what Duolingo does is just, it reminds me that, hey, You're supposed to be learning Spanish right now. So like aside from doing like whatever it is I have to do to keep my streak going, that actually is just like a mental note that, oh, maybe you need to watch your episode. Maybe you need to listen to a Spanish music right now. Just so like to kind of like remind you that you need to be learning your language.
Right.
If anything, like Duolingo is like good for that, but
Yeah.
don't let that be your one all be all. That's not going to teach you like
Exactly. Well, I mean, you could use it for those, words and expressions, but and even if you travel for a short time or something, but I guess like we both said, it's you need more.
Yeah, even more. If that's really something that you want to do, like to communicate with your family and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, do more than that. I mean, it's great. It really is. If you have the money to pay for their whatever super family plan, max family plan, that's awesome. But really you can go out to your community. Again, if you're local, we're here. You can literally come into our school and talk to somebody. Like we probably can speak a language. But yeah. So I guess like advice for students before we wrap up, I always like asking one final question to our guest. If somebody listening today is thinking about learning a new language, but they're nervous or unsure where to start, what would you say to them?
I would say do it, try it, challenge yourself. Kind of what I said earlier. You put into it and then you'll get out what you put in.
Yeah.
So put in the work, challenge yourself.
Time will tell.
It'll be worth it. I promise.
Yeah. And then again, like what Tammy said earlier, her favorite English expression is time will tell. Yeah. So if you put in the work, clock it, time will tell if it's working or not. But definitely like try something new. If the apps are not working anymore, try going to school, or maybe don't go to school yet. Try to do your self-study, buy actual books. If you can't buy books, girl, oh my gosh, girly pops, friends, family, our library. Okay, I'm like the number one advocate for like libraries. I love libraries. You can't say, oh, I have to, I can't buy a book or whatever. Go to your library. They have it. And if they don't, I'm telling you right now, you can request a book. They'll buy it for you.
Yeah, or you can get it from another library and they'll get it to that local library where you are locally. So
we love Henderson libraries. We love Las Vegas libraries. They're the best. And if any chance I get, I will always tell people, go to your library. They're more than just like libraries too. Again, like as I mentioned earlier, they do conversational classes as well, English, Spanish, and I think right now they're doing Korean, which, I'm so excited. We have
circles. Absolutely. Just get whatever opportunities you can get.
But thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much for joining us today and for everything you do for your students here at Williams School of Languages. And for those of you who are listening, I also wanted to say thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If today's conversation inspired you to learn a new language, we'd love to meet you. If you're here in Las Vegas, come visit us at Williams School of Languages and experience a free, actually we offer it, right? We offer free 1-hour trial classes for any language.
That's correct.
So come experience a free 1-hour trial class with a teacher and language of your choice. Whether you've always wanted to learn, right now we have Spanish, Korean, Tagalog, Filipino. We used to have French, but I think we're going to offer it again. Or really like something completely new. We also have Chinese. What else?
I think we have Portuguese.
Yeah, we also offer Portuguese here. So those are the ones that we have right now. But if something completely new, like you want to learn Japanese or like Hebrew or Farsi, maybe.
Exactly.
Keep in touch.
Let us know and see what we can do.
No, for sure. This could be something, or this could be like the beginning of your next adventure. And if you're a language teacher who is passionate about sharing your culture and helping others learn, we'd love to hear your story as well. We're always excited to connect with educators from around the world. Even if you're not local, I would love to meet with you. One last thing, every episode, features drinks like when we started earlier from a local cafe because we believe language brings people together, and so do great local businesses. If there's a coffee shop, tea house, or hidden gem you'd love for us to feature, send us your recommendations. We'd love to support them in a future episode. And again, if you enjoyed today's conversation, please subscribe wherever you're listening, leave us a review, and share this episode with somebody who's been thinking about learning a new language. Language is a way of bringing people together, and that's exactly what we're hoping to do here. Whether you're learning your very first word or your fifth language, there's always a seat waiting for you at our table. Until next time, everybody, stay curious, keep learning, and maraming salamat po. How do you say goodbye in Spanish? Adios.
Hasta.
Yeah. Hasta. What is it? I was saying hasta la vista. La próxima vez. Was that? How's that? What is that?
Like until next time.
Oh, okay. I'll learn that next time then.
Próxima vez.
Yeah.
Or you could just say hasta.
Hasta. All right. Bye, everybody. Salamat po. Paalam.